Congratulations! You've taken your first step to filling out your diary, and that puts you in a class of your own, because most business owners never even take this step. Let me ask you a question though. What would your life look like if you knew that you could predictably create 2 to 20 new high-paying clients every single month that could add an extra 20 to 100K per month without ads or complex funnels and actually gave you more free time? Have you ever experienced any of this? That you really want to stop relying on referrals because you know it's not a predictable way to grow your business? That you've exhausted the avenues of trying to build funnels, build landing pages, websites, Facebook groups, posts, ads, lives, podcasts, and it's not bringing you the results and you're fed up? You just want a simple way to get more high-paying, ideal clients and more appointments booked into your diary. You're done going through courses and hiring agencies that just don't produce results. And the more you look, the more confused you get, and everyone is just trying to sell you something. It's all hidden and confusing, no one is playing straight, and you don't need a domain, you just need more clients. Or maybe you know that marketing and sales is important, but it's just not a strength of yours, and you're struggling to be consistent with it and not getting enough high-value leads. You're tired of being on a hamster wheel, trading dollars for hours, and feeling like you're not progressing fast enough. You're so busy being busy and have a never-ending to-do list, but you're not getting the results or generating the new clients that you need to grow your business. You want to be able to choose who you work with and fire the clients that suck your time and energy, but you simply don't have consistent lead flow. If you're tired of coaching and helping people for free and then still not getting paid because you're giving free advice in the hope that they will turn into clients. Here's the thing, if any of this feels like you, none of these are your real problem. The real problem is that you haven't become an everyday rainmaker. More on that in a moment, because I'm going to show you how you can become an everyday rainmaker in 5 simple steps. So where most people remain frustrated and go through endless hours of learning courses with the hope of getting more qualified leads and never quite get there, you're going to be able to move right past that and fill your diary with qualified sales appointments, the actual result that you want, and do it a lot faster than you might think possible right now. You see, the reason I know this is because all I've done over the past 6 years is work with over 1,500 entrepreneurs in 18 countries like you to help them fill their diary with 5 to 15 highly qualified sales appointments every single week. And the 5 steps I'm going to cover here are the exact same things that only the most successful entrepreneurs do to fill their diaries, while the rest, they continue to struggle and fail. And if we haven't officially met, my name is Matt Clark, and let me tell you what we're going to be covering here. I'm going to show you the 5 steps to do right now to become an everyday rainmaker, but this is really just one part of a larger path. So I'm going to show you and walk you through all the important steps and nuances that you need to know right now, and I'm also going to show you exactly where this falls in the big picture, because there is a greater journey to get from point A to point B, and I'm going to show you that as well. So the first shift is to develop an everyday rainmaker mindset, because it's not about who you are right now, but who you need to become. So here's what happens when you don't figure this out, is that you land up being overwhelmed, stuck, and frustrated with playing the same game at the same level day in and day out. So no leveling up and almost like you can't get through that glass ceiling. You start to question yourself and you get shiny object syndrome, jumping from course to course or from thing to thing, but not reaching your goals. And the business always relies on you and you never get out. So what you need to do is get focused now. And really there's only a small number of key areas that you need to get focused on to really get results. Number 1 is to have a consistent flow of leads coming in every single day. How many are coming in every single day? The second thing is your conversion rate of leads into customers. The third is the number of upsells into higher programs. And number 4 is to create lifetime value instead of one-off sales. So instead of wasting time thinking and learning, you are now implementing. Instead of figuring things out, you actually get results. And instead of trawling through content, you block out the noise, get focused, and get to your end goals. And instead of wasting years of your life, you go all in. Tim was one of these people who did that, and he is a consultant and coaching business, and he was looking for a very specific high-profile audience. Just by implementing this and getting laser focused, he was able to generate $60,000 in 4 weeks. 35,000 of this was halfway through the system. Shift number 2 is to grow a 7-figure offer. This is the number 1 strategy to grow your business. You see, what happens when you don't figure it out is that you land up working twice as hard. You're not profitable and you don't grow. You don't get to a high 6 and 7 figures because you have no plan. And you're constantly trading dollars for hours, and the business is always you. So there's 3 ways to grow a business, to create your 7-figure offer. Number 1 is that you can get more clients. Number 2 is that you can charge a higher price. And number 3 is that you can increase the transaction frequency, which is the number of times that a client actually buys from you. So an example of this is pretty simple. If we take scenario number 1, where there's 4 clients spending $1,000 and they buy 3 times a year, that gives you $12,000. Now, if we increase each one of these by 25%, which means we have now 5 clients, 1250 times 4, that now gives us $25,000. That's more than double just by increasing each one by 25%. And the third scenario here is where we increase it again by 25%. This gives us a almost 5 times increase in sales by having a 50% increase on each one of these steps. So the goal is to create an offer that allows you to get more clients, charge a higher price, and also increase the amount of times that they purchase from you. So what happens is that instead of being stuck, you have a scalable 7-figure offer. Instead of being a nice to have, you become a must have. Instead of a long sales process, your clients buy now. And instead of wondering why people aren't buying, you have sales happening all the time. Shift number 3 is to create a repeatable sales process, because here's the thing. It's not about how well you can do something. It's about how well you can duplicate what you do. So here's what happens when you don't figure this out. You're stuck being the only one who can sell. You've got no proven model to scale, and you can't grow easily. And your business relies entirely on you, and you'll never get out of being inside the business. So we've created the Rainmaker enrollment process, where we take you through how to target your ideal client, run those searches, connect with them, send them a further message, get their email address and their cell phone number. That's what we consider a lead. Then a 5-minute qualification call to set up the call to make sure that they are qualified to go to a sales call. If they are qualified to go to a sales call, they get a video sent to them before that, so they're already educated on what you do and not asking you questions, what do you do and how do you do it? They already know that. It's more a question of how do we make this work for our business. The best part about this is when you get this right, it'll end up filling your sales diary so that it can look like mine, where I've got on average between 10 to 15 sales calls every single week. Okay? And more importantly is that if you've got salespeople, you can duplicate this for them too. So it's called the Rainmaker sales funnel, and there's 4 components. There's the everyday sales funnel, right, which is what I've just shown you there. You need to have sales scripts, which gives you a repeatable format to communicate with people. To have an onboarding process that welcomes people in because you're selling at every single stage. And then a nurture and follow-up process so that people that don't buy right there and then can buy from you later on. So instead of working in the business, you can now hire people to run the business. Instead of dealing with time wasters, you only bring in highly qualified, ready-to-buy customers. And instead of guessing why people buy, you now have one duplicatable, proven system. Jeremy was one of these people, and I got on a phone call with him, and he said, look, it's probably sitting in the region of 60 to 70K return. Since you and I have been talking, 6 people have called. The crazy thing is that within 6 months of working, he closed over $50 million in finance, and he was generating 140 leads per month. Now, I know not everybody needs that, but that's where you can take it. So the 4th shift is to have consistent lead generation systems, where you go from a single flow to having multiple flows where it is predictable. So here's what happens when you don't figure this out. You only rely on referrals, and you can't predictably generate new sales. You stay stuck on the revenue roller coaster. Your business doesn't grow, and you never have freedom. And you can't hire salespeople, so you don't have to work so hard. So I want to show you a repeatable sales system, and this is how we help coaches, consultants, and advisors get 2 to 5 high-value leads per day using LinkedIn without paying for ads. So there's 3 stages: position, connect, and scale. So step number 1 is to get laser focused on the ideal client. Instead of trying to focus on everybody, you focus on one. Step number 2 is to create an irresistible pickup line that'll set you apart from the rest. So you're not just ordinary and have brown box syndrome where you look the same as everybody else, but you now become irresistible. Step number 3 is to do your LinkedIn makeover, which takes you from an egocentric profile where it's written as a CV to a client-centric sales page where it focuses on your client. What are their big pain points? What are their frustrations? What are the things that keep them up at night? And how do you help solve those problems? When you get this right, you go from being invisible to your ideal client to becoming completely irresistible to your ideal client, where they start reaching out to you. Now, step number 2 is connect, where you start reaching out to them, where you focus on credibility. So how are you seen as an authority and positioned as an authority, more importantly, so that people will start coming to you for advice? Number 5 is to create conversations, because marketing is not about sales, it's about opening up conversations. So you stop thinking of people as prospects and start building real relationships with them so that you can actually create higher ticket sales and, more importantly, create longer lasting business. Step number 6 is content. So instead of posting out everything, you focus on the thing that your ideal client cares about most. You can post less content and be more effective if you do it this way. This will take you from being influenced to becoming influential. Then in scale, it's about having your 7-figure offer so you can stop chasing people and start enrolling them. Having a repeatable follow-up process in place, because 85% of salespeople or entrepreneurs or business owners, call it what you will, give up after 1 contact, whereas 85% of sales are made after 5 or more contacts. So when you get this right, it'll take you from a place of scarcity where you're wondering where your next lead or client will come from, to a place of abundance where you can pick and choose who you want to work with. And step number 9 is to automate. And this will allow you to take you from a manual process to an exponential process. The reason it's step number 9 is because you can't automate something that you don't already have a proven process for. And that's when your business goes from experimental to predictable. That's how you're going to generate 2 to 5 high-value leads every single day so you can fill your diary with sales appointments. Now, there's 3 keys to this to make this successful. Number 1 is that it must be repeatable. It cannot just rely on you. Number 2 is that people must be educated before they talk to you so that they're not asking you, what do you do and how do you do it? And step number 3 is that you must get paid. No more free consults, no more free advice. You must get paid for your expertise. So Joanna was one of these ladies, and she is a relationship expert, and she was really struggling to bring on new clients. She was in actual fact delivering way too much for way too little. She didn't have a scalable offer. So we created a leveraged $4,800 offer. She implemented the lead generation system, and in the first week, she had 7 sales calls with 3 new clients. By the end of 4 weeks, she'd brought on 5 new clients at $4,800 each, almost $25K in sales. So instead of trying to learn all the platforms, you have a dialed-in proven strategy that works on any platform. Instead of relying on referrals, you can now generate clients at will. Instead of being desperate for leads, you can turn on the tap anytime. And instead of hunting clients all the time, they're attracted to you. Shift number 5 is to get invested mentors. Only work with people who are all in with you. You see, we realized is that if we wanted to get to 25K per month and 50K per month and 100K per month and beyond, we needed to get some help from people who've done it before. So we went looking. And we spent thousands of dollars on mentors and bought into programs that promised one thing or another and delivered another, where the mentor said that they would be involved, but what we discovered was that it would be at an arm's length. We did things, and we did learn things every time that moved the needle, but it wasn't the level of help that we needed, and we weren't moving fast enough. We figured that other business owners have felt the same and had the same experience. And you see, the thing is, we found the problem is that with most mentors is that they're not really mentors. They're course creators who make 100% of their income teaching. But we've built our businesses on brick and mortar businesses, selling physical products, PABX copiers and CCTV. And the reason this doesn't make sense for you is because these mentors, they have a vested interest in keeping you confused so you can just buy more stuff. You see, most mentors will tell you what to do, and you will see their actions are different to their words. You've got to ask yourself the question, Is this person I'm learning from doing what they are saying or living what they are teaching? Because it's important for us to do it differently. People look at my success on LinkedIn and ask, why am I successful and still doing sales calls from LinkedIn? But here's the thing. I'm successful because I am a product of the product. I know what it takes and I can share it directly with you. I do what I say. You see, we don't believe in vanity metrics, but actually using it every day and sharing it with you. We're all in with you. We teach you what to do personally. We're actively involved every step of the way. We reinvest the majority of our profits into building more ways to help you succeed. And why? Because you're going to need these to succeed in the long term. Because if you don't succeed, then we can't either. It's why we've made it so simple to get results. There's one strategy to use, not many different strategies that land up confusing you. And why we work incredibly hard to bring you the best education to deliver results every single time. So if you want to get 2 to 20 new clients every month on demand without paid ads or complex funnels, if you want to create more clients and more sales and actually work less and finally get off the revenue roller coaster you're on right now, if you want to position yourself for profit so that you can command more respect from your ideal clients and they approach you wanting to buy so that you're the only choice for them, if you want to become an everyday rainmaker, right now you've got a couple of options. Number one is that you can go back to life as usual. You can go back to worrying about whether your next client is coming from and underperforming, under-earning, and stressed out. You can go back to being stuck with no way to get to freedom. You can go back to doing what you've always done, getting the results you've always got, and pouring through courses trying to figure this out. But you'll just have to accept that it might take you years to figure it out. And you know what? That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But I want to let you know that there is another option. The second option is that you can make this a defining moment. You can say, I've had enough of mediocre. I've had enough of struggling. I've had enough of wasting time pouring through courses. It's time to take control and be successful. Finally, stop with the confusion and overwhelm from too many strategies and tactics. Just cut out the noise, get absolute focus, and really get results. To get help from people who've actually done this before and who are currently doing this right now. Don't let this just be another moment where you learn something and move on to the next thing without fully implementing it and seeing the results. So I want to show you the easier and the faster way, is to get mentoring from someone who has a proven roadmap to follow and has done this for themselves and many others. So here's how it works. Over the next 5 days, we've set aside some time to do a strategy session with you to help you move forward. So spaces are very limited. You're talking directly to me and my coaches personally. So these fill up fast, right? We drink our own Kool-Aid. We use the system. It's how you got to us today. You must be serious about growing your business. You have to really want this, okay? So you'll meet up with me or one of my top strategists. We'll talk for 45 to 60 minutes and map out an action plan for you to reach your goals, to fix your business models and use the systems we talked about today to accelerate and amplify your current income and your clients. And if you want to build this hands out together, and we're positive that we can actually help you get the results that you want quickly, we may invite you to become one of the new clients that we take on. But there is absolutely no guarantee that we'll make that invitation. And of course, there's zero pressure to do anything if we do. This is up to you. We have different programs based on where you're at, and we'll make that recommendation as we go through this. Honestly, this could be the most profitable 45 to 60 minutes you spend on your business this entire year. But listen, you have to have value to offer people. We can help you build that value into a perfectly packaged, high-priced offer and scale it past your goals very fast. But you must have the value or the expertise to start with. You have to want this, like actually want this. Because we find that most people want the reward, but not the sacrifice. Now, we can greatly accelerate you, but you must be committed to hitting your goals in your business, or don't bother. You see, our systems work best for client businesses, right? It needs to economically make sense. So, don't have a $2.50 a month or low-priced biz op product. It's not going to help us, right? It's not going to help you. So, spaces are very limited and offered on a first-come, first-served basis. Because being an everyday rainmaker means that it doesn't matter if you're making sales every day, but it means that you're taking the right action every day that result in more leads and more sales. Because it's not about the results. It's about the consistent actions, and the results will flow. So since we've started lockdown, we've been helping a lot of clients get results. And here's what that looks like. We've had a book writing coach whose revenue went from 30K a month to 90K a month in 4 weeks. We've had a property coach make 125,000 Rand in 1 week after joining. We've had an engineering consultant consistently make 75,000 Rand per month. We've had a business coach go from $8,000 to $25,000 a month. An accountant brought on a new client with a lifetime value of 900,000 Rand. A property construction and investment company picked up at least $4 million in business. A relationship coach went from 12K a month to 35K a month within 3 months. A business broker bought a £1 million engineering firm. A 60 million Rand business owner was able to free up a day a week so that she could actually focus on the things that actually matter. A lead generation expert got 20 clients in 8 weeks. He had 20 sales calls, did 20 onboardings. A copywriting coach started up and did $12,000 in sales. A branding expert doubled their sales, hired 2 assistants, and freed up more time so that she could grow faster. And our business went from 6 team members to 14 team members in 5 countries, and our revenue more than doubled. So if you're looking for results like this, click the link below, book a strategy session with us. It's completely free. Let's see how we can help you. Because here's the key to success. They implemented everything we showed them. The Rainmaker mindset, the 7-figure scalable offer, the repeatable sales process, the predictable lead generation system, and they got invested mentors and did everything that we showed them. So book your strategy session today. Click the button below. It's 100% free, but spaces are limited and they're offered on a first serve basis. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the calls, seeing how we can help you grow your business. Click the button below. See you on the inside.